today. That was a pretty amazing journey. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce some people who also worked very hard to make this happen, and many of them are going to be speakers later. Would you help me welcome Superintendent Lane Larson? We have some school board members here. Would they please stand? Kevin Boyles will be speaking later, and then you saw Ruth Nelson also. Could I have Baxter City Council? And I'd like to mention that Connie Nelson, Licio, good grief. Connie Licio is here, and she used to be a former teacher, FIA teacher at Baxter Elementary School. Then I've got Josh Doty, who is the Community Development Director. And then Kelly is with us too, and she's the Assistant City Administrator. Baxter City Council and all of the Baxter community worked very hard to help this project get going. Could you stand if you are here representing, please? From ICS, I know we've got other members here. I'm only going to introduce one, the ICS president, and I'm going to leave him to introduce the rest of the crew when he speaks. Could you help me welcome Dave Bergeron, please? Yeah. And next, and here's where the Olson came in before, sorry, Connie. I've got Mayor Daryl Olson here from Baxter representing. We've got some members of the Baxter Police Department here, and over the years they have worked so very hard for our community as well as the school system. Could we give a nice round of applause to the Baxter Police Department? And everyone representing any division of the emergency crew. I also have our PTO President, Jeannie King. And then two Baxter teachers who were a part of our core design team, and they're going to get to speak later, Mrs. Campion and Mrs. Schrader-Stave. At this time, I would also like us all to just pause and take a moment of silence. One of Baxter's very finest teachers is not able to be here with us today. And it really is important to me to take a moment of silence in memory of Mrs. Tammy Swanson. She would have loved everything about this day. Celebrating Baxter, kicking off this great, amazing space. Could we have just a moment of silence, please? And then we do have her husband, Hal, and her daughter, Randy, over here in the crowd. Could we give them a round of applause for being here, please? And now, before I give my short welcome speech, I would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by three of our students from the third grade. And in third grade, we get to study the Constitution and civics. So helping me, could I have Judson Reese, Cooper Larson, Kinley Leonard, and Zachary Drees come on over, please? Would you all please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
right. They're going to have me stand in one place. I usually have the moving microphone. I'm not good about just standing still in one spot. But welcome, boys and girls, guests, honored guests, and staff, parents who are here and always supporting us. I've got a little short welcome. We were all asked to be around 2 minutes long, and I brought a bat. And I thought, and my husband was like, I said, can you go get my wooden bat from long ago out of the garage last night? And he was wondering, what do I need a bat for? Well, I'll ask you this. What do springtime and baseball season have to do with a school dedication? In baseball, people talk an awful lot about the sweet spot. It's the place on the bat where when the ball hits and connects, it's effective. It's powerful. Great things happen. Powerful base hits, those hard-to-get triples, home runs. Out of the park power. The sweet spot, the place where everything comes together and produces the best results. A friend told me shortly after I was hired to be principal of Baxter Elementary School that I was in my sweet spot. And I reflected, and she knows I like sports, and I said, you're right. This is the sweet spot to be, Baxter Elementary School. An amazing, great place where everyone truly does come together and great things happen. We've got an incredible lineup of students right here sitting on the floor and in the bleachers, over on the risers, and some of them taking the risk of being a speaker and a leader right on over here. Some newly drafted this year, all of our little kinders, including some new drafts. I added 2 new students this week who have jumped right in and joined the Baxter Spirit. We've got many returning players, all of our first graders, second graders, third and fourth. This lineup of students, all of you continue to do your best each and every day to find your sweet spot. I hope you will make the most of it in this brand new place. Then we've got our fans, our parents, our community members, our volunteers. Wow. They cheer us on. They support us in this amazing place. They help us when we strike out and need to get back up. And they absolutely root for us to hit that home run. And of course, a huge group that has helped me find my sweet spot at Baxter Elementary School is this staff. What an amazing roster. Incredible teachers, support staff of all types, our paraprofessionals, our cooks, custodians, secretaries. We could not be here in this sweet spot without all of you, my amazing lineup. So this wonderful place, these wonderful experiences, the incredible learning and growing, leading, gathering, finding friends, finding teammates, this sweet spot would not be possible without everyone who is in this room today. And all I can say is, put me in, coach. This is my place. I have found my sweet spot at Baxter Elementary School, my team. So welcome to the dedication. Please enjoy. Up next, I'd like to introduce School Board Representative and Treasurer Kevin Boyles.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing this morning? Good. Now, the cool thing about being a member of the school board is I can occasionally overrule a principal. Now, as I look out, and I drove up today to this building, which I've been in a few times since it was built, and obviously most of you have as well, the word that came to my mind as I walked in here this morning, and what I saw as people were filing in here for this little ceremony, was excitement. So, I see lots of excitement out here. So remember that 0 that Principal Stelmach just said? We're going to suspend that for a couple of seconds, and we're going to get excited about the new building. So you can use your 7, 8, 9 voice right now. Let's all say, yay, for the new building, right? Right. All right. Now we're back to 0, though, so I don't get yelled at by Principal Stelmach, okay? But it's really exciting to be here. It's exciting to see the culmination of all of the efforts of our community and to see our great support by all the different entities out there in our community, and especially our staff, administrative staff, our teachers and support staff, and of course you, the students. You guys are what make it happen. So as I drive up in the rain today, I think about, yuck, it's rainy outside. We don't like it when it's rainy outside. But what's good about the rain? The good thing about the rain is it makes stuff grow, right? Right. So as I look out here, normally I get to speak to rooms full of people for my real job, and it's a lot of older people. So when you get to be my age, you don't see a lot of excitement, and you don't see a lot of things, but the future is in this room. You people, these kids right here, you're the future. So this building, to me, is the pot in which we're going to grow the seedlings that are these children that are sitting with us today, that will in years to come become the mighty oak trees that will go out into this community. And some of you will branch out and go into other communities across the country, and you will become the strength of those communities that you go out into. And you'll always remember, I promise, you're always going to remember that this is where you started. And what a great place to start, right? Right. So on behalf of the Board of Education, what I would say is I'm very thankful for the community that stood behind the referendum vote to get the approval to build these facilities and to staff these facilities. But in the end, this is just a pot. What matters most is the water and the sunshine, the seeds and the oak trees. And your teachers are doing the watering, and the staff is doing the fertilizing and all of those things. And none of that happens without all of you. And none of that was made possible without the community's involvement in it. And I cannot express how grateful we are for all of you. And I'm so psyched to come and see programs in this school. I hope everybody has a really great remainder to your school year. One more time, we can go back up to about a 5. Yay. Thank you.
All right, next up we've got the Baxter mayor. Super important person, boys and girls, and how lucky you are to get to meet the mayor of Baxter today. Would you help me welcome Mayor Daryl Olson?
My wife is here, and I hope she heard that super important part there. Good morning again, and thank you, Lane, for the invitation to be here today. It's very, very exciting. We're honored to be a part of this day. When Lane touched bases with me last week, she reminded me that I had 2 minutes, and she sounded like she really meant it. So that was kind of scary. And then when I saw the principal come out with a baseball bat, I think they do mean it. So I've got to move along here really, really quick. It's fun to come back now to see the finished product. We were all here earlier at the beginning when it was nothing but a piece of bare land, and so it's pretty exciting now to be here to see that, what's happened here. That scissors is going to have to be retired probably by the time this is done. It's had quite a workout with all the dedications, but that's really a good thing. It's been a privilege for the city of Baxter to be involved in this project from the very beginning. From the visioning with the school board and the school staff, looking at this piece of property, how could it fit in here, along with the infrastructure, road system, and whatnot. And it was just a real pleasure to be involved with all of those people in making these decisions. And I would also just like to say, we don't always give credit to the builders and the contractors, but it was also a pleasure to do business with them too. They were very, very cooperative, and it made the whole process go very, very smoothly. This building adds another dimension to the many possibilities of coordinating functions and opportunities to the many already shared because of the proximity of the two entities. So as a city, we're thankful that the board and the administration made the decision to locate this school here. We think it was a very, very good choice. I'd just like to, I think I got another 30 seconds here, just like to add a personal note here to what I'm saying this morning. My wife and I have 2 adult children who, as the crow flies, grew up about 2 miles away from here. They attended the original, not the original, but the former Baxter School, and attended the rest of the schools in the system here. And like many other kids, they grew up, they moved away, they went to college, they met people, they got married, and they didn't come back. That's kind of what kind of happens sometimes. But recently, our son and our daughter-in-law, who have 3 of our grandkids, made the decision to move back from Arizona. And I feel that one of the major reasons, outside of their grandma, let's get serious, that's the main reason. But one of the reasons was because of the decisions that voters of 181 have made for the improvements and the additional facilities that are now available. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with their decision. Our youngest granddaughter began her educational journey right in this building last year. First year in a brand new building. We were excited about that and thankful for that opportunity. And I told her one day, I said, someday, a while back, someday you're going to drive by this building with your friends and you're going to say, I was in that school the very first year it was open, and you're going to be so proud of that. And she gave me the grandpa look like, yeah, whatever. But I know I'm right, and someday she will feel that way. A lot of great memories here. She and her brother are fifth generation of 181 Brainerd Warriors. So a lot of good memories, a lot of great things have happened, a lot of great education, great teachers in those years, and we're so appreciative of that. Don't judge the education by me. It wasn't the school's fault. They did the best they could, but the teachers eventually have to move on. So anyway, we appreciate everything everybody's done and everybody's part in this building today, and congratulations, district.
And now I would like to introduce a different principal, not of a school, but he is had a key role along with many staff members from a company called ICS. Would you please help me welcome Dave Bergeron?
Hey, good morning, everybody. You can do better than that, can't you? Good morning. All right. So, I think do you all know we're here today, and it's part of history, right? We get to be here today to open this beautiful building. Even though it's been open for a couple of years, today we get to dedicate it, right? And it's a pretty cool deal that we all get to be here to do that, right? So I work with a company that, along with a lot of other companies, helped to design and build this beautiful building. And we've had the great opportunity and the privilege to work with Principal Stallmach and all of the folks from the Brainerd School District to design and build the building. And so with dedications like this, where everybody comes together to make history, it's our opportunity to take some time to thank folks who worked really hard to make all of this happen. So I want to start with the folks from the Brainerd School District. And I'll start with Principal Stallmach and her staff. So thank you so much. We couldn't have asked for a better partner to help in the design and how the building looks than the folks right here at Baxter Elementary and Principal Stallmach and her staff. I also want to thank Reed Teesey, the Director of Buildings and Grounds. Reed came into the project, jumped right in, and has really been kind of our day-to-day person working with the district. So big thank you to Reed Teesey. And also Marcy Lord, the Business Director for Brainerd Schools. Marcy's the person who kind of makes sure everything stays on budget and makes sure the district runs financially in a good way. And then also Superintendent Lane Larson. I want to say Superintendent Larson was really the visionary, and I would call the driving force behind not just this building, but really all of the improvements across the Brainerd School District. So thank you so much for all of your work with the folks from Brainerd School District. Also want to thank, these things don't just appear, right? You have people who work to help design it and then to build it. And we had some really good designers. And I want to just mention a couple, because there's a lot of people involved. The lead designer is a firm called Widseth, and I see several folks from Widseth right over here, Mr. Ramerth and staff. They're sitting right there. And they were responsible for really how the building looks, the architectural side, the civil side, which is how the parking lots and playgrounds and all of those work. Another firm that was involved they're called CMTA. And they're the folks who do the mechanical and electrical, and they help the building stay warm and stay cool. So thank you to them. Then there's the folks who really oversee the construction, and that's really our firm, ICS. And we have some folks that I want to point out. Our overall project director was a gentleman named Damian Williams, and they're right in the back over here. So Damian, raise your hand. Damian is responsible for all of the improvements across the district from an ICS perspective. And then also Justin Monaga is over here, and Justin was the guy who was responsible for this project. And then we also had a gentleman named Al Rykow. Al couldn't make it here today, but he was the guy who was here every day to kind of work with the contractors and oversee it. So thank you to that team. And also, Superintendent Larson will talk about the contractors, but the folks who actually do the work are a ton of contractors, and I know we have a bunch of contractors in the audience today, and I want to just say a big thank you to those folks, because how this building turns out is really the labor, the love of their labor and the dedication that they bring to it. And lastly, before I go, I want to do a big shout out to the Board of Education for Brainerd Schools. All of this building and all of the improvements across the district only happen because of the vision, the commitment, the courage to be able to want to make change that makes improvements for decades to come for the Brainerd School District. So thank you, all of you. You've been wonderful. Thank you for being here today. And thank you. Let's enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.
All right. As fourth grade is getting ready to do a musical performance over there, I just would like us all to give another round of applause. Mr. Bergeron mentioned so many people from so many different groups. And now we've got the fourth graders performing under the direction of Mrs. Jill Lee with a musical selection. So now our fourth grade performers are going to quietly exit and take their seats in the bleachers for the rest of the program. We've got a little slideshow of some of the construction pictures that we will play while we are waiting for them to get situated back in the bleachers. Well, that sure was fun to see those pictures as we've got the last fourth grade class walking in before we have our speakers come up, just thinking about where we were, and we decided it was 3 years ago where we had the groundbreaking, where we dug the first shovels of dirt for this building, and we were in the middle of a woods. There was a path cut back through the woods, and we had to bus our students over here because we were the building, of course, that was on a different site. We had a beautiful, gorgeous day, and we bused all of the Baxter students over here and had a fun ceremony and celebration that day in what is called groundbreaking, where we got to dig and some dirt and throw a few fun shovels of dirt. And here we are 3 years later, actually inside of the walls and the spaces. So 2 members of our school core design team who met so very, very often, they met a lot over the course of several summers and sometimes every week for meetings to come in as we talked about the structure of this building and how should the classrooms look and where should kindergarten be, who should be upstairs, and which direction should the gym be turned and facing? Should we have a science room or not? And there's a core design team, and they had to meet so very often to do that. Well, 2 members of that team are Mr. Schrader-Stave and Mrs. Campion. Would you help me welcome them, please?
Good morning. As members of the core design team, we, along with Mrs. Schmick, Mrs. Bender, Mrs. Freeman, Ms. Gamello, and Dr. Stelmach, had the privilege of seeing this process from blueprint to reality. Today, we are thrilled to be here for the dedication of this building.
We are so lucky to have such a wonderful learning environment. This building is amazing. We love the new classroom space, the learning commons, the 2 gyms, the huge library, the dedicated science room, the stage, the outside playground. We appreciate the bathrooms, the spacious cafeteria, and most especially, the windows that let in the natural light and provide views of our abundant outdoor spaces.
However, what makes us even more thankful is the who inside of this building. The students, the staff, parents, community members, the people inside our building, walking the halls and in the classrooms, are the heart of this special place. Despite the craziness of the past 2 years, what a privilege it has been to work with these people inside of these walls.
Baxter Elementary School is and always has been a place where foundations are built.
May this new school building be a space where we continue to build upon our tradition of learning well and caring for each other.
May this new school building continue to be a place for building foundations of respect, responsible behavior, and positive relationships.
In closing, may these beautiful new windows and walls continue to house people who love learning and love each other for years and years to come. Thank you.
Next up, we've got Jeannie King, president of our PTO, representing a group of individuals who do so much behind the scenes. Boys and girls, your parents, grandparents, custodians, guardians, help you with this educational journey and educational experience. In addition, this PTO goes above and beyond. They plan and organize very fun and special events, and we all get to have so much fun with so many of the events that they plan. So would you please help me welcome Jeannie King.
3 years ago, members of this community gathered to help realize a shared vision for our children, a vision for the future of Brainerd, Nisswa, and Baxter communities. While we had little idea all that would transpire from that day to now, we were filled with pride, excitement, and hope. Given the dark days of the past 2 years, my heart swells when I realize that today I am filled with a similar optimism in surveying the realization of that vision, this building and all that is yet to come within these walls. I feel a great amount of pride as we gather together in this building, a center for learning and exploring. That pride is because our community came together for our future, our students, and voted yes to build this facility. Today is about this building, Baxter Elementary School, an amazing space that was thoughtfully designed to enhance and enrich student learning. It is a space in which we can purposefully and measurably impact the future we seek to build by developing skills, expanding minds, and nurturing relationships. The excitement today stems from relationships. In particular, I'm excited by the impressive people that fill this building. Our Baxter students, you are the best. Your smiles and laughter fill this building with love. Our staff is top-notch. The building is just a mix of concrete, steel, and other materials. It stands alone, but would not function without the creativity, patience, and skill of those who guide the young people who walk through these doors. Our Baxter families, the parents, guardians, grandparents, and siblings are the final leg of the stool. They together, with this uniquely talented teaching and learning team, form the village that is raising our children. The energy of these relationships will drive the engine of learning at Baxter Elementary for years to come. The last few years have illuminated the importance of savoring every moment, of never taking anything for granted. Today is one such moment, the first of many to put our gratitude into practice and celebrate what we can accomplish when we work together. My hope today is that people will use this building in all the ways a community should. For school, yes, but also for sporting events, community gatherings, plays and camps, craft fairs, and dance competitions. I hope kids will play on this playground and explore the bordering pine groves on sunny snow days and lazy summer afternoons. I hope that many years from now, the children we nurture at Baxter Elementary will go on to invest in the future of their children, just as we have done for them here. I hope not a day goes by that we take for granted the priceless gift of an education. On behalf of the Baxter Parent-Teacher Organization, welcome to Baxter Elementary School, a place where foundations are built to help shape the future of our world.
All right, so next we have a student reading. I've got some student council members here who are going to be telling us what Baxter stands for. And we've got some amazing kindergarten helpers who are going to be raising some signs as we talk about each of the letters from Baxter Elementary. And just a quick note about those letters over here to my left, probably your right. 3 years ago when we did our groundbreaking, we made those letters for part of our program outside. And I'm not too much of a saver. I don't usually hang on to things, but I thought these are awesome letters. We're going to save them for another 8 months when we get to do our ribbon cutting and grand opening. And then life changed just a little bit the first 2 years that this building was open, so I pulled back out those letters, and I'm happy to have our kindergartner helpers and student council do this part of the program. Would you please welcome them?
is for belonging, being brave, bold, believing, and becoming your best self.
A is for attitude, accommodating, artistic, accepting, amazing, achievement.
X is for exciting, exercise led by the best PE staff, lead by example, showing expected behaviors, extra fun projects, and exceptional students.
T is for terrific teachers, talent, trying, thankful, thoughtful, treasures, top-notch, together, teamwork, tenacity.
E is for everyone matters, eager and energetic, excitement, encourage everyone, engaging, excellence in education, and embrace everyone.
R is for respect, responsibility,
Relationships, ready to move on and grow.
raise the roof because Baxter rocks.
I have to tell you, we practiced that yesterday, and it's nerve-wracking to have to hold signs that are as big as your body and raise them up. It's also nerve-wracking for my amazing student leaders, and I do want to just give a shout out to the Baxter Student Council. You see them in their hashtag Be the Leader shirts. They worked really hard to prepare to speak to a crowd of this size, and it's not easy getting in front of the microphone. So could we give another round of applause to my kinders and the Student Council? Next up, I would like to welcome the Superintendent of ISD 181, Lane Larson.
Good morning, Baxter Warriors. How are you today? Oh, that's pretty good. That's a nice response. It is a pleasure to be here today at the grand opening and the ribbon cutting ceremony of the new Baxter Elementary School. As Dr. Stelmach says, I'm Lane Larson, the superintendent of Brainerd Public Schools, and I have had the most incredible 2 weeks as we have dedicated all of the buildings for Brainerd Public Schools and our Blueprint 181 projects. Our community's commitment and their investment to our children, our future, continues to amaze me and to inspire me. And so it has been an exhilarating time for Brainerd Public Schools, but today in particular for Baxter Elementary School. I want to tell you a short story about your principal, Dr. Tammy Stelmach. In early July 2016, I met Tammy Dewey right after I took the position of superintendent of Brainerd Public Schools. As part of my entry plan with Brainerd Public Schools, I met with all of the administrators to learn about them, to introduce myself, to find out about their position and the school that they work in, to learn a little bit about their leadership style, their strengths, and some of the challenges that they are facing in their jobs. One minute, I sat down at my office table with Miss Dewey, and I felt that we were going to be lifelong friends. She reminded me so much of a friend that I've had since childhood, and I knew that I was comfortable with her instantly and that we would be friends forever. We had an immediate trust, and before long, we were sharing our emotions with each other, and we had only been together for just a matter of a couple minutes. We were talking about it the other day and how we were sitting at that table, and within minutes, we were both crying and talking about just exciting things and challenges that we've had. But during this time, she shared with me her personal and her professional hopes and dreams. She shared with me that she was most proud of being the mother to Tim, David, and Tiffany. She told me that she was soon to marry the love of her life, Bob Stelmach, and her name was going to change to Mrs. Stelmach. She also told me that she was completing her doctoral dissertation at St. Cloud State University in educational leadership and administration. So before long, she would be referred to as Dr. Tammy Stelmach. We talked during that meeting about how we were both family and consumer science teachers and started our career in technical education programs. She talked about that she was the assistant principal at Forest View Middle School and had just recently taken on the new position as assistant principal of Riverside Elementary School. She shared her passion for high-quality teaching and learning and social-emotional development. But she started to tell me a story of her biggest hope and dream professionally. She wanted to be a principal, a lead principal of a building with the Brainerd Public Schools. A couple years later, that professional opportunity opened up for her. The Baxter Elementary School principal, Steve Lundberg, announced his retirement. And it was right before we had passed the referendum, but we were going to be starting the design development of a brand new Baxter Elementary School in a brand new location off of Jasperwood. The challenges before us as a district required a strong and competent leader who had a proven capacity for multitasking and needed to be excruciatingly organized. In agreement with a team of Baxter Elementary teachers, I know Melissa, Heather, Carrie, Karen, you guys were part of that team. We all knew that Dr. Stelmach was the right person at the right point, at the right time. We knew that she could carry the culture of the building that we wanted to present in our new facility. She would identify the best practices that we needed for instruction for our children. And she would lead the high-quality teaching and development along with building a brand new school all at the same time. And I look around me today and I see this beautiful, beautiful school, and I know that nobody could have accomplished it better. Nobody does it better. And thank you, Tammy, for leading this effort. The Baxter Elementary School has the perfect leader, the perfect teachers, the perfect staff, and the perfect children for moving forward. And here we are today, 6 days later. We are all warriors sitting here at Baxter Elementary Gym. This morning's ceremony is a reminder and a public display of the many successes that we've achieved together in partnership with our community to provide opportunities, innovation, and success for all of our precious children. Baxter Elementary's construction project is a result of our community's unwavering commitment to providing the best teaching and learning environments possible, and they did it for each and every one of you, our students of Baxter Elementary School. Reaching a major milestone such as this can only be achieved through a genuine partnership, and that is the Warrior Way. Today, we have an honor, and that is to unveil the bronze plaque that will hang in the foyer of Baxter Elementary School for the remainder of the building and the district's history. It will adorn the entryway along with a present professional photograph of our school. At this time, I'm going to call the core design team, Melissa Schmeck, Karen Schroeder-Stave, Heather Bender, Carrie Campion, Kaylee Freeman, Wendy Gamallo, and Dr. Stelmach forward to unveil the bronze plaque that will be displayed in our school. Please come forward at this time. The hours that these people put into the planning is just amazing, so it's an honor to have you unveil the plaque at this time. Go ahead. Isn't it beautiful? Thank you. On the plaque, I always say this, and I know that my leadership team sometimes gets tired of hearing me say this, but I firmly believe that when we started this project in 2016 and on to today in 2022, we all together were the right team at the right time. And so at this time, I want to acknowledge many of the people who made this a reality. Do you want to stay standing or do you want to go back to your places? What would you like? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you very much. You bet. You bet. We've talked about, I would like to acknowledge the entire Board of Education. And again, Ruth Nelson, our chair, will you please stand and be recognized for just an incredible amount of work. Kevin Boyles, our treasurer. Kevin, will you stand as well? Will you stand as well? Thank you. Give these people a huge round of applause. They've worked really hard. I also want to acknowledge our other present board members who were unable to make it today. Our vice chair, Charles Blacklance, our clerk, Jana Sjogren, directors, Tom Hagelin and Sarah Spear. I also want to take this time to recognize the past board members who are unable to be here with us today. Robert Nystrom, Reed Campbell, Sue Kern, and Chris Robinson. Their vision made this a reality. I also am fortunate to work with the best of the best team ever. And like I said, the right team at the right time. And I would like to acknowledge the district leaders who have made this a reality. Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Heidi Hahn, our next superintendent of schools at Brainerd Public Schools. Please stand when I call your name. Dr. Tammy Stelmach. Our Building and Grounds Director, Reed Teesey and Jeff Flayton. There's Jeff. Angie Bennett, our Human Resources Director. Our Director of Business Services, Marcy Lord. Our Directors of Communications, Anne Marie Locker and Carla Axelson, who have worked tirelessly to get today a reality. And our Technology Director, Justin Barnhart. Please give them a round of applause. We are honored to work alongside with the best in the business. And I want to publicly acknowledge and to thank our awesome faculty and staff at ISD 181. Last week was National Teacher Appreciation Week. And at Baxter Elementary School and throughout our district, I like to use the quote as Hal Bowman states, "In the best schools, everyone in every position is a teacher. There are dozens of job titles, but they all share the same role, and that is to change a kid's life forever. And every one of you have had a huge role in making that a reality." Today, we also recognize our beautiful students. I look around here and I'm absolutely deeply touched, and I see lots of friends. I even see my friend Parker back there from the 3rd grade, Parker McAllister. Parker, you should stand up. He and I play pickleball on Sundays, and he beats me every single Sunday. He's awesome, just so you know. He rocks. I'm telling you, you don't want to take him on. But thank you to our beautiful students. You are the reason that we do what we do every day. And thank you for being great role models, great learners, and future leaders. I also want to express and thank the partners in this process. And I know Dave started with some of them, but I want to acknowledge everyone to make sure that you know how many thousands of people it has taken to make this a reality. I start with ICS, our program and construction management team. Please stand when I call your name. Dave Bergeron, Damian Williams, Justin Moniga, Al Reichel. Thank you for the work that you've done to make this a reality. I also want to thank them for the beautiful Blueprint 181 Warrior Strong bracelets that we all wear in unity, and they made that happen for us. Thank you also to Widseth, the architects on this beautiful project. Will you please stand? Tim Rammerth, Deb Parrott, Lindsay Krins, Erica Markison, Mike England, and Kevin Dene. Thank you so much for your incredible work. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to Obermill, CMTA, our engineers, to ARI for doing the, along with Lindsay Krins, Katie Hildenbrand, and Kelly Burke for doing the furniture, fixture, and equipment that make our buildings so beautiful. I also want to recognize many of the wonderful contractors that are right here in Brainerd that have made this a reality. Our friends at High Tech Construction who did the general construction, Jeff Hansen, Brenda Bray, Mitch Fearbend, and more. Please stand and be recognized, all of you from, so awesome. Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you to Brainerd Glass Company, to RJ Mechanical, to Thielen Heating and Roofing, Rick Peterson and Steve Isle, and many, many, many more contractors who have made this today a reality. We also know that none of this could have happened without our incredible parents and our community who have provided significant contributions to the Blueprint 181 project. And these are the people that went to the ballots to say yes for our kids. Thank you to our parents and community for being there for us and for our future. Thank you to the Vote Yes Committee who helped us reach this important milestone. Kim Ellingson, Christy Ramler, Sarah Spear, Janice Sjogren, Jessica Gangle, Brad Mao, and Warren Larson. Let's give everyone a round of applause as this is a warrior partnership. So without further delay, let's do what we've all been waiting for. Let's take the final step in the dedication of the Baxter Elementary School. We are going to have our ribbon cutting at this time, and once the ribbon is cut, the ceremony will officially be over, and Baxter Elementary School will be dedicated. At that time, the fourth graders will be performing. At this time, will the Board of Education and all of the people who spoke please come forward, and Nora King and Hennessy with Mitham will be cutting the ribbon today. So please come forward and let's dedicate this building. Great. You want to go in front? Yeah, go in front. Yeah. All right, let's go grab a seat.
All right, we have two things left. We've got another group of fourth graders who are going to do an instrumental music piece. They spent extra time giving up their recess to work at learning the recorder to a black belt level. They're going to play a piece for us, and then when they are done, we are going to end on the brand new version of the school song. So would you please find that zero voice again as we listen respectfully to the fourth grade black belt recorder players, led by music teacher Mrs. Lee. Well, they did an amazing job, and like I said, it takes lots of extra practice, and then they're listening as they are playing. Boys and girls, you did an amazing job of sitting through a very long but important program. We are going to end our program, but first I would like to give one more round of applause. It was fun to see. Thank you. It was fun for me to see some of the faces that I saw almost on a weekly basis driving over to a trailer that was parked on this site as people were working hard and building and being out in the freezing cold snow and the chilly rain like a day like today, and yet they worked each and every day to get this building open on time for us. So thank you for coming and being a part of our program today. And now we have a few student leaders who are going to help us. Please keep your eyes on them. They're going to help with the actions that go along with this song. Spring of 20, sitting in an empty Baxter school with boxes all around me, trying to pack that building almost by myself for a while. It was just me, the custodian, and the secretary when everyone went home on quarantine. And then our paraprofessionals came back in the building and helped me with the boxing. But at that time, when I was so very much missing students, I got to thinking about a new school song because we were going to leave the Baxter Buccaneer song behind and become the Brainerd Warriors, the Baxter Warriors as a part of the Brainerd system. And the words for this song, keeping it with our old tune, started to come to mind. And then some amazing students helped put the actions together. Would you all stand right now? You'll find the words at the backside of your program. And please help us sing the Baxter Warriors school song. All right, boys and girls, we will go ahead and have second grade leave first. Fourth grade can go ahead and start exiting out this side, second grade out that side. Kindergarten and first grade, you can take a seat if you want to while you wait. Kindergarten and first can sit down.